All right, so we are less than 10 seconds out from Sony State of Play 2022. It is June, otherwise known as Gamers Christmas month. It is about to pop off right now with one of the first major presentations we've seen. We have Xbox and Bethesda showcase confirmed, and we also have, hopefully, that Nintendo Direct announcement coming up soon. I am super hyped for this month to come by, guys. This will absolutely be my live reaction to this event, as I have zero clue of what's going to be revealed here. We're starting with the date right now and some immediate thoughts and reactions afterwards. So 3/24/2023, I'm assuming the release date for whatever game we're going to see. Now, a lot of what they've talked about at this event is VR games and third-party titles. So don't expect God of War Ragnarok, although I would not be unhappy if that did indeed see another trailer here, as that's one of my most hyped first-party Sony titles for this year. Let's see what we're looking at here. We are talking about Resident Evil. And is this 4 remake? Yes, it is. Yep, this is what a way to open the show. That's going to be a super hype one. Okay, let's look at what let's see what our graphics look like here. Oh, this is the one out of all the remakes they've done so far, being Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. 4 is going to be the standout remake for sure if done right. This one's going to be super hype. Now, I wasn't the biggest Resident Evil player growing up. However, 4 on the GameCube has heavy nostalgia for me. So this will be a day one purchase for me. Now, whether or not we'll see this be multi-platform or just a PlayStation exclusive, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a timed exclusive. Wow. It's definitely a remake, not just a simple upscale, that's for sure. Graphics and textures look beautiful so far. Oh, I'm ready for this. I am ready for this. Resident Evil 4. Let's go. So we got early 2023 title there for Resident Evil 4 remake.
If I could just forget.
And we're going to get some gameplay too. Fantastic. We got roughly 30 minutes of announcements to look forward to. Just the reflections and what they're figuring out with ray tracing and all the different technology with the more powerful home consoles is rather impressive. Granted, at the end of the day, I love my Switch, but I would love it to have some kind of power buff so we could get games like this. Now, it just says PS5 and Capcom there at the bottom, so I'm not familiar with whether or not this has been up to this point. It's been thought that it would be a PlayStation exclusive, and then PlayStation VR 2 content also in development for Resident Evil. That's one for me that VR and horror games, almost too much for me to handle. I can watch horror movies, no problem. The VR aspect, I feel like I have to fight somebody. It's a lot to handle. Let's hope this is just banger after banger announcement. It's not the PlayStation Games showcase that we sometimes see. State of Plays can be hit and miss. Now, this is Resident Evil Village VR 2 gameplay. So this is a lot of what we would expect. We're probably going to get like a major third-party title and then a follow-up with some VR stuff. But yeah, see, this is one of those games that I would love to enjoy in VR. I don't think I could to handle it, to be totally transparent with you all. Now, what's pretty crazy is it looks like the graphics are as good. I mean, for sure as good from Resident Evil Village, but it's in a VR perspective. I want to know, like, the specs that we can look forward to on VR2. I have the PlayStation 4 VR, and it's already impressive. But of course, there can definitely be some upgrades now at this point. So I'll have my eye on the PlayStation 5 VR2 set. I'm just hopeful. I mean, we know it's going to be expensive, probably like in the $400 range. And to do $500 on the PS5 and then turn around and spend another $400 on the VR headset, it's a $900 investment right there, which is definitely a lot. But cool to see at least Capcom so far is going to be showing some support for PlayStation VR 2. And then we're going to jump right into another VR 2 title, which, to be fair, I think can be really cool if done right with a lot of different franchises and IPs. I'm also not at the point yet where I get incredibly hyped for VR games. Maybe I just haven't played the right style of games for me yet, but they're kind of like a fun experience to go hop into, but not something that I'm like, day one purchase, can't wait for this game to come out on VR. Although Beat Saber is ridiculously addicting, especially for any Guitar Hero fans out there. Go check out Beat Saber on the VR. That's a lot of fun. And a music rhythm game in modern age, which where Guitar Hero and Rock Band are now. I don't know why we have such a long gap in releases, but let's hope we see them brought back eventually. This is for sure Horizon Forbidden West 2 VR, right? Yeah, absolutely. Graphics in this look beautiful. What I don't know, I can't remember if they announced this or not, if this is on rails, because that definitely makes a big difference on you know, how it's going to play. Because if this is like an on rails thing, of course it is going to look beautiful, but it's not near as hard to pull that off as compared to a free roaming game. I love how they've done like kind of the hands in order to keep the animation simple. The hand is totally disconnected from the rest of the arm, so you just get to see a hand pop in there with no arm or limb that is attached to. Something that I'm sure as technology grows and goes on, we'll figure out over time. Now this is cool with the whole shadow drop announcements, like for Horizon Forbidden West. I haven't got a chance to play through that yet because Elden Ring completely took up all of my open world action exploration time. So I've just been sleeping on it, but I'm definitely going to go back and play it. So now even more of a reason to hop in. Hey, a PlayStation fan favorite coming to PC. Now this is something I like to see Sony do. If possible, I don't mind gaming on the PC at all. Insomniac Games. What are we going to see from... Oh, Spider-Man's coming to the PC? Oh, this is huge. That's going to be a big deal for a lot of people. I was a fan of the Spider-Man games on the PS5. I didn't take a ton. PS4 and PS5 I played both of them on the PS5 whenever I got the Miles Morales, and then I played most of the first one, and then I played through all of Miles Morales. Both incredible games. For not like my most hyped titles, even though they're a lot of fun, but this, I mean, they sold so ridiculously well that for the PC crowd, this is going to be huge. Definitely going to be easy money for Sony to print. August 12th, 2022. Now, I never thought we'd be in a world where Sony's like essentially like releasing their stuff almost like Xbox, where a lot of it is coming to Steam and PC and things. But here we are. I don't know what to say about this. I don't know how I feel about it. You're the main protagonist being a cat. I don't have anything against cats. I just feel like this is a weird concept, but I mean, I guess there's going to be an audience for it. Oh, it's got some legit stealth elements. They could make this fun. I could see this being fun. It's kind of it looks ridiculous. Like whoever pitched the concept for this, I would have loved to be in the room whenever they were trying to close executives on like, hey, listen, we're going to make a legit AAA style game where you play as a cat and you do these stealthy missions. Like, it's kind of hilarious if you think about it. Stray. So, okay, well, what a fitting name. July 19th, PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Well, let's see how that goes. Stray may have already been announced, but I definitely haven't heard it. I haven't seen it myself. Getting like heavy Dead Space vibes. But this isn't Dead Space remake, so I don't know what this is. Looks like Dead Space though. Even the perspective of you and your character. Callisto, the Callisto Protocol. December 2nd, 2022. That's a launch game for this year. Okay. That's definitely a space horror, heavily Dead Space inspired type of game, in my opinion. Looks interesting enough. Who says Sony doesn't do indie world presentations inside of their state of play showcases? Roller skates, double handguns, and flip jumps in a ramping environment. Okay. I'm on board with this. Slow-mo flips while you're shooting at your enemies. Yeah. Why not? Dodge roll. Y'all know I'm a fan of that. Hashtag Dark Souls. You guys might notice something. Some of the more like simple titles I might be more excited for than some of the big AAA releases. I might be a weird one for that, but I like Roller Rome looks great. August 16th. I'll probably pick that up. That looks a lot of fun. This is one of those games that, like, in theory, I could be into it and could be interested in it. I feel like that trailer is just one of those that's going to make the game seem a lot more epic than it really is. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's my first impression, is that this game is not going to be anywhere near as hype as that trailer sold it to be. Early 2023. So this is the Capcom / Sony showcase for sure, because all of the major titles, I think you could argue so far, have been Capcom releases, other than Horizon VR2, which would be the Sony first party one. Then of course Spider-Man coming to PC, also being a first party Sony. What we're talking about Street Fighter 6 here. Did they change the logo, for the love of God, and get away from the generic Adobe stock photo thing that was used last time? Yeah, this is Street Fighter 6 for sure, right? So they're going... This seems like you're going to have like a hub world to travel through to actually trigger the fights. Now that's a different direction for sure. They're gonna go story based here. Maybe you're like a no-name fighter that learns different techniques from different fighters as you go. Okay, I'm here for it. The graphics look incredible on this. I love the way that they make contact with each other. That just looks, oh, the art style with a realistic take is actually really well done here. I'm impressed with how this game looks and plays. And then the ink coming off around them, or the paint rather, this is hype. I like it a lot. I like the direction they went here. And it's got that like punk street vibe going on to it. It was Street Fighter, of course. It should have that, but it's done very differently than it has been in the past Street Fighter games. So Street Fighter 6 looking very hype. Let's see if we get a release date. The updated logo, so a little bit less generic than it was before. Your moment, your fight, coming 2023. So we have the year, so I'm assuming middle or late 2023, because it's not even saying early or anything like that. But all right, very cool. And it looks like it's going to be a Sony exclusive for the time being. I've seen people say that it's also coming to Xbox, but I don't know that that's confirmed, so we'll see. Tunic. Nice. There might be a percentage of gamers that get excited for stuff like this, but I'm just gonna say it. I couldn't care less about this game. New Final Fantasy trailer. This is gonna be hype. I'm excited to see this. Oh, the combat looks fantastic. The graphics on Final Fantasy games, guys, they're next level. Some of the enemy design in Final Fantasy XVI is blowing me away. I mean, the intricacies to the different creatures they've created are incredible. Square Enix and Final Fantasy has always been on the cutting edge of how to make a game look beautiful in real time, and I love it. This looks incredible. This trailer, so much more hype than the previous trailer we've seen. Beautiful soundtrack too. I love it. Yeah, this will be a day one pickup for sure. Next mainline installment in the Final Fantasy franchise. Now, some people were asking, is it going to be Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2? Clearly, it's 16. However, summer 2023, we're going to get a launch window. Very nice. All right, next year. I think there was some people talking about that potentially being ready for this year, but regardless, I mean, that's looking great. That's it. That's the full state of play. You know, for almost 30 minutes, 28 minutes, that was solid. There was nothing that like just blew my mind at all. No Silent Hill, which, you know, that was one that I think a ton of fans wanted to see. I was holding out hope, even though at this point it would probably be a PlayStation first party for Bloodborne Remaster. That's what would have just broke the show for me. But a good look at Final Fantasy 16, a launch window for it, and then just, you know, the other titles, like, they're all good. It's just nothing put it over the top for me. And there was a solid amount of VR stuff. This isn't a E3 level Sony presentation. Whether or not they plan something like that later on for August will remain to be seen. But yeah, this one, I'm not super over impressed, and I'm also not entirely let down like I have been from some state of plays. So right in the middle, if I had to put a number on it, this is a 5 out of 10 event for me. Nothing put it over the top for me, but also some very hype looks at certain titles that I will plan on picking up. So I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video. What were your highlights, if any, of this event? Are you going to pick up any of the games that were featured here today? Were you surprised with anything and really hyped for any of these announcements? Or were you kind of like me and just middle of the road, some great stuff, some not so great stuff, and really just nothing that kind of wowed you for the event as a whole? So I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, regardless of your thoughts and feelings and everything we talked about today, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around this topic. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, where we discussed the 7-minute Sonic Frontiers gameplay reveal and a look at the brand new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailers. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.